and they'll adjust it.
It's fine.
Great.
I just need my music.
That would be something to get.
The recording?
As someone
Yeah.
whose eyes do that when we walk outside.
Oh, it's time to go now, right? I just thought I should check.
On the last page, the thing we need most is for you to breathe once.
Yeah.
Can we do the last page and think about that? Because the gesture's good, and it goes along with the other main thing I'd say is if you were going to say, why do you think John Williams starts it softly and ends it loud?
Why not?
Why does he think that's cool? I mean, what's...
Because it like leads up to the big moment.
Yeah. And so what we need is every time there's a new specific color, you actually do a really good job of showing it to us, but we also see you retreat in your own head.
Yeah.
That's when we sort of go, okay, this is the moment that goes like this.
Okay.
Instead of, I can't wait for us to do this thing we're about to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we need you to reach out to them, partly just with your eyes.
Okay.
So for instance, right here, this should feel so open, right?
Yeah.
And it was a gesture that was open, but we could see at this point you were sort of like this with your face and eyes. You're sort of, I'm going to make sure this really works instead of, I can't wait to hear you sing this.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're doing is beautiful, just open the door and let them do it instead of just being your use ours, yeah. So where do you want to begin? Just the top of the page first bar?
I did 1, 2. I did the first measure in 4.
That's fine, and as long as you're comfortable doing that, that works beautifully. I like the breath even better.
Yeah.
What's the character you want them to sing with?
Like strong. I just want to keep this. It's like, to me, this is like a simple. It's
Yes.
so simple. The whole thing.
There
is
is
simple.
something very
I feel
simple
like
about it,
it's
but it is
strong.
very direct, right?
Yeah.
it still feels a little. Yeah, it doesn't need, we don't need to make a face.
Yeah,
of it,
yeah, I know.
but partly it has to with sometimes, and this is partly I think sometimes why you don't breathe for us, is sometimes we don't let the breath out.
Yeah.
And when the breath gets caught in, then the body feels a little closed, as opposed to this should feel like your body just gives air and gives air and gives air, and even if you give out air, you just breathe and give more,
There you
as
go.
opposed to being really generous. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes.
Which you understand is the same thing. It's also joyful, right? And so in fact, just the way in which, if you like the sound you're getting back, or the feel you're getting, if you can sort of just say, that's pretty cool. And again, it's not a matter of making a face, but it's sort of allowing your own joy to be part of the music, because it is in this case, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, one more time, beautiful. You like what you're saying? Great. One more time. Good, good, reach out to them. What's up with the sound?
It kind of like, I don't know.
I liked it.
I really?
Yeah,
I felt
I
like I
thought there
lost
was-
it. Maybe I lost it for a second.
There was for a
and then
minute,
that
but
feels like-
I loved what was right before and right after it.
Yeah.
I thought it was, and it was so interesting. We weren't trying to sing radically differently, but we were singing more brilliantly and louder.
Okay.
Because you were really with them present.
Yeah.
See if we can get the same presence with them at the beginning now, which is a totally different color. Let's actually go to the bottom of the second page. Yea, the sparrow. And it's the same principle. This isn't not, it's a different kind of music, but it's
Yeah.
still electric from you to them,
Yeah.
rather than doing the right thing, which you were doing.
Yeah.
But it was sort of, I'm going to do the right thing rather
Well, I
than.
feel like I felt like the tempo was slipping between me and the choir.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
we've had faster.
Exactly. And
So I was trying to like adjust.
yeah, but even if that happens, you
Yeah.
sort of have to find a way to make that adjustment at the same time you stay connected to showing them what it's about. You'll have even more impact faster if they sort of are invited. This is Yea the Sparrow, please. Yea the Sparrow. Beautiful, yeah. You know how this much goes by heart, right?
Basically.
Yeah. See if you do not look down once.
Well, I only looked down.
Yeah, but you look down and really went away from us for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. And what's the meaning of this text? What do you think it means? Yea, the sparrow hath found her house. And the sparrow.
I do not know.
Ask your friends, maybe they can help us, because it's kind of weird English, right?
Yeah.
Lisa, what do you think?
I mean, to me, I always think of like sparrows tend to flit around. They swing from tree to tree, and she finally finds the tree that she wants to like nest and build that nest and to raise her family in.
Yeah,
They'll go
that's
from-
nice. Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking at it in a religious perspective, you can look at it as in the house of God, and as in like the house of like the sparrow who's been flitting around and trying to find a place to stay and build a family and build like a life. Now she's found the house of God and is there and happy.
Yeah.
She can
So it's
now-
about going home.
Yeah.
It's about being home. So there's again a calmness and an open about being wherever the right place is for you. Saying, I have found the center of where I am. Yeah. So what does that mean about how you listen to them and how you read for us? Okay. Yea the sparrow. Make sure you're still on camera. Good. Jack's listening. hands are doing. I think again, it's not a place to look down. I think because that's the way we want the sound. It's like the last page in terms of.
Yeah, I just wanted to like, because I have the eighth notes like circled, so I like to.
You
like,
stretch them a little,
yeah.
which is beautiful.
But I just need to.
And it's a
I don't
matter
know
of
what-
you're doing all the right stuff.
Yeah.
But it feels a little bit like if you hear a great singer or a great performer that you like, you can sort of tell they're at the point where they're sort of thinking about what they're doing as they go, instead of the next step, which is they made that decision because they love it.
Yeah.
And now they're just doing the thing they love. It's
Yeah.
like going on tour already. We need you to be there. And if you're not, you have to sort of find a way to pretend you're there.
Yeah.
So that you're doing all those things or not, but that it isn't, they're not boxes to check, they're, the reason you do this is because those two eighth notes are beautiful.
Right.
And what you want to do is say, I want to give you these eighth notes. And Raj is like, I want to make sure I get these right. And so it makes everybody feel a little bit like we're trying, in a good way, we're trying to get all the stuff right,
Yeah.
instead of when it's right. Whatever that feeling is. Exactly, yeah. And when you get generous with us, it's so beautiful. So where would you like to be in? Blessed art thou?
Yeah, blessed art, yeah.
Blessed art thou. It's the last two bars of 3. Sorry, people are looking. Everybody found it?
Oh, okay, got it.
Last 2 bars of page 3. Really with them. Listen to them and give it to us. Now with them. How's that feel? I think so too. It feels generous, and it's interesting. We sort of mentioned this in last class that Robert Shaw talked about how when you're really connecting well, it feels like you're a vessel for what's going on, but also we see more of you. And suddenly we know what you think about this piece, and what you think is beautiful about the piece. Let's go one more time from the sparrow that far, then we'll go on to another character. Standing. Yay, the sparrow. And I think, Joe, that everything you're doing is great, just as generous as you can be with us.
Yeah.
Especially if you feel like something isn't going quite right.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the default is when, and so there's a way you can sort of save the music, even if it's not always working by being generous, yeah? Good. Yay, the sparrow. Feel good to you?
Yeah.
Good. Comes for your color. Great. Wild applause, please. Thank you very much. Get some of that applause on camera, too.